You were 100% avoidant, but at the same time, you kept on getting back together with me. We kept on breaking up and getting back together.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I know why I kept taking you back, but why did you keep on getting back if you wanted all the freedom, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
Yet you keep on getting back together with the same girl. That's not. I mean, that's contradictory to what you claim you wanted.
I think it's a tough question.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Attachment Diaries. I'm Karolina.
I'm Gabriel.
And today we're going to talk about how Gabriel went from being avoidant
to being secure.
I actually wanted to say this whole sentence.
You're welcome.
And you were saying how I stopped running from. You were supposed to say how
I stopped running from love.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and how I stopped running from love.
As you can see, we're back home from the studio. We
gave that a shot.
We gave it a shot. We didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
It is nicer equipment, but it's easier to talk more freely at home.
Yeah, we had people walking around the whole time.
Whispering.
Yeah, kind of made it harder to talk.
To be engaged.
Yeah, to be engaged.
And today's topic is a juicy one. I'm going to grill Gabriel on all the things he doesn't want to share with public.
My best kept secrets.
Yes. All the vulnerable details. So just to give you guys a bit of a background story, we met in 2011. We started dating in 2012. We were both 25 at the time, so pretty young. You just came out of a toxic relationship, right? So my first question to you is, when we met, were you looking for a relationship?
I don't know whether I was strictly looking for a relationship, but I was definitely looking for closeness. I don't know whether I'm good at being alone. I think I always need a companion, someone I can, talk
avoidant.
to. True avoidant? Who needs a companion?
I'm being ironic.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, so I don't know what I was looking for exactly.
So you didn't have a plan?
No, definitely no plan.
Yeah.
Or a vague idea for sure, but not a plan. And
the past relationship, were you aware at the time that you just came out of a toxic relationship?
Hell no.
Hell no.
No, I don't think you realize it until later, mostly. Some things were definitely, there were definitely orange and red flags, I think, all the way. But when you're used to it, when there's a certain standard you're used to, even prior to that relationship, you don't see it. I think it was more with us and with time that it became clear to me.
That was a toxic relationship.
That it was toxic, yeah.
So we met, you were looking for a companion, whatever that means. You weren't good at being alone, but you didn't have a plan. And initially you were hesitant, even with like a label of a relationship, right? Why was that?
Take one guess. I just came out of a toxic relationship. I didn't want to be trapped in anything. I didn't. I think it's something we see with clients when they come out of a divorce too. They're up for a relationship of some kind, companionship, but they don't want to be in a marriage again. They're like, or even a relationship can be a bit.
Labels can be terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just got burnt.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know you had trust issues at the time, or?
No.
No.
There was nothing wrong with me. Everything was good.
I remember when we were that was like second month of dating, and you brought up being exclusive. We were exclusive. No, we were exclusive all the time.
I brought it up?
You brought it up, yeah. I mean, initially you were like, "I'm not ready to be exclusive yet," and I was like, "Oh, whatever." So that's sort of jumping forward a little bit. So that was the story. We started dating, and Gabriel did want to be exclusive, which he does not remember. Perfectly illustrating the problems of being with an avoidant who says one thing and then forgets that he said it. And fast forward, I think we were good for a couple of months and being exclusive. And then the breakup started.
Yeah.
So it was after you came to Poland with me for a wedding and you met my whole family. That's when you broke up for the first time. That's when you were, I guess, what was that?
Well, I think I had my doubts throughout. This is one of the hallmarks of being avoidant, I think, that you don't have that certainty, you don't have that security. You're just always wondering, is this the one? Is this what I want? Is there someone better fitted for me? And because of that, you don't want to get nailed down. You don't want to have, I think labels is a thing you'll often find avoidance fight, but it's also doing things that feel like a bigger step. So if you're going to, I mean, there's a smaller end, the beginnings, let's say, where you might go on a couple dates, right? Or you might go to a social event with them, with you, and say, this is my girlfriend, boyfriend, or go to a wedding together.
Legitimizing the relationship.
Exactly, yeah. Those kinds of things, I think, will always be met with some kind of resistance or sabotage. And I think that's what that was.
So, in other words, you were like 100% avoidant.
I was very avoidant. Yeah, for sure.
Would you think, I mean, I know you were definitely a dismissive avoidant. You were not fearful avoidant. You were just minimizing everything and playing it cool. So then we broke up and we continued breaking up and getting back together and breaking up again and getting back together.
And I was initiating those breakups.
All of those breakups. So throughout all our breakups, and that's another thing that always confused me about your behavior, because you would break up, but then you kept on texting me and like nice things or checking in or just being overall friendly. Why did you do that?
I don't think this is necessarily related to what your attachment style is, but rather, do you care about the person genuinely? I think if you do, it's a bit hard to just stop having any form of interaction with them. So I cared about you, I cared about your well-being, how you were feeling. And another part of it is not truly wanting to let go, right? You want to have tabs, you want to make sure. It's what we'll tell our ex-pac students, right? That when they're reaching out and giving these mixed messages afterwards.
Breadcrumbing.
It can be weeks after the breakup. It doesn't necessarily have to be right afterwards. But that they're not ready to let go. There is attachment already. And that was very much the case for me already.
I know.
Yeah, you know. And why am I in the hot seat? Huh? You have all the answers already?
I don't actually. And that's quite shocking because it's been 13 years. And I don't feel like I still fully get it.
14
years?
Yeah.
It's been many years.
It's been many years.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, 14. Yeah.
Mm.
So you missed me. And that's why you kept on reaching out.
I
But
cared,
you cared.
and I didn't want to lose the connection fully.
Yeah,
I was attached.
you were attached. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Even while you were breaking up actively.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were breaking up because you didn't want to lock yourself in.
Yeah. When it
You
felt too
wanted-
serious,
yeah.
when it felt.
You wanted to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
And you wanted to like have official, like to not be cheating. To like
yeah, of course. No, that's not in my character.
Yeah.
But I think what's important to say as well is you'll often find this behavior with avoidance, what we said, that they'll break up when something feels like the next
serious,
step, right? Legitimizing the relationship.
Yeah.
But they'll only do this when they feel like they already have some power and control, right? It's what we talk about in some other episodes. They won't do it when, like, I wouldn't have done it had I not felt like you were attached enough. Had you not been anxious enough, I wouldn't have felt secure enough that you would still be in the picture after. So it requires assuming the person cares about the other, ironically, for them to feel like they have an upper hand. I mean, that's the harsh truth of how people often navigate relationships and breakups.
Yeah.
But if they're reaching out afterwards or texting at some point, I think in most cases it's a clear indication that they're still attached. There are exceptions to that. Say you owe them money, right? And they might be interested in just recuperating that. So for pragmatic reasons, let's say. But outside of that, it'll be an emotional attachment.
That makes sense. And what you're saying is also pretty messed up.
Yeah.
That because you have the connection and because you feel like the other person cares, that's what empowers you to keep on abandoning them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, I think, a bit of a reenactment, isn't it, of something?
It is an absolute reenactment. I was, in fact, in my latest video, this was exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you learn that from somewhere, generally in your childhood. I learned it from my parents. They were great at just abandoning me, dismissing me. And I mean, like, physically, not just on an emotional way. And when you internalize that and that's your normality, like, this is how someone's related to you, you're like, oh yeah, that's just not a big deal, right? Assuming you haven't processed what was done to you. So at the time, I had not, and relating to you that way seemed.
This is how you relate to people
you
love.
Yeah, this is fine, or it's like, I mean, fine. It's not like I didn't see that you were upset, right? And I didn't care. Like it hurt me to see you hurt, right? I wasn't.
You're not heartless.
It wasn't about trying to inflict pain, right? It was about not wanting to be tied down. And it felt like the only way to do it. So I think this kind of typical avoidant behavior of backtracking, of stepping out, of breaking up.
Having a way out, not being held accountable.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Not having to perform certain obligations.
Right.
So you were that. You were 100% avoidant. Right? But at the same time, you kept on getting back together with me. We kept on breaking up and getting back together.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I know why I kept taking you back, but why did you keep on getting back if you wanted all the freedom, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
Yet you keep on getting back together with the same girl. That's not. I mean, that's contradictory to what you claim you wanted.
I think it's a tough question. Something I don't fully understand either. Something drew me to you back over and over again. And I think there was just I don't know, it's the warmth you had, it's what you were providing, it's what it felt like to be around you. There were just a lot of things, and I don't, I wasn't sitting there thinking this through, right? This is all happening subconsciously, and it's a feeling, yeah, and a feeling I wasn't mostly aware of either, but something about our dynamic, right? And I think a part of me just felt somewhere that you were a missing piece that could help me overcome a lot of my own issues. Like we were two opposite puzzle pieces in some way, and vice versa, right? Not to say you didn't have any issues. We both had our own. And I think, yeah, people feel drawn to other people, I find, that have the potential to unlock greater potential of themselves, right? Healing and overcoming past traumas, past wounds.
Something about it just felt right.
Yeah. And not in a conscious way, even.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
It did. It's also funny because, I mean, to me, it's clear we had a connection, and from the get-go, and to you, it was not.
No.
And that it was different, and to you, it was not so clear.
No.
That it was. So, like, to me, it's obvious why we kept on getting back together, because we couldn't stay away. We couldn't stay apart.
I think this is something avoidance, though, will suffer under. And again, it's something I was exploring in my latest video, but I think this whole doubt about how I felt towards you and how avoidance will feel towards their partner is a huge contributor to this constant push-pull dynamic. Because even if they have all these feelings towards someone,
they don't know it.
They don't know it. And even if those feelings come up, they're flooded with doubt and they can't be certain of how they feel. So, yeah, for you, it was clear. For me, for the longest time, it was not clear. It became clearer over time. But hence the journey, right, from avoidant to secure. But that was a long, arduous process.
Yeah. So, about the journey. We were in this whirlwind of breakups, getting back together, breakups, getting back together. And then a third breakup was our last. You never broke up after that. What changed?
Investment and clarity, I would say. I think the more you invest in a relationship, the harder it is to walk away.
Like when your own investment.
Yeah. When you build a connection, when you really understand each other, when it's working, right? Not to say everything was working between us. There was a lot that we were still working on. But it just felt like you understood me and I understood you, and something just clicked for some reason. And when you have that and you're building on it, and it's nicer and nicer. I find a lot of my clients are banking on this with their avoidant partners. They're like, if I stick around long enough and I invest and build trust and get them attached to me, eventually they're not going to want to leave, right? They'll overcome their avoidant attachment style and choose me over trauma, essentially. And I think there's some truth to that. There's a balance to be had. You can't be endlessly giving. But for me, there was definitely that element of what we've built together.
So it was my investment and your investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Two-way street. That just felt special and good and was working despite the imperfections. And there was, I guess, a road ahead where it felt like we can most likely overcome the issues we had, and this is good, this is nice. Why walk away? Like how? What? It just doesn't make sense at some point, right? And sure, there are moments where you have a big argument, over the same issue for the umpteenth time, and then you might feel like, okay, this can't work, but it doesn't actually escalate to the breakup. And I remember that you and I had this discussion once, that when we would argue, we used to feel the emotional distance between us, right? That it actually felt like one of us,
the end.
Yeah, the end.
Yeah.
One of us might walk out.
Yeah.
And that over time, when we argued, that distance became much narrower, where we just couldn't feel like we would walk away. And I think that was a good indication of us healing from our own pasts and our own wounds, and growing ever closer, so that when there is any avoidant tendency, let's say, where the knee-jerk response would be, I'm out because this isn't working, that's overcome with the love and the healing, and you're like, no, actually, I know better now, and we can make this work, and we can talk it through.
So it's about not feeling helpless in these moments when, like, you have your differences or you have conflict.
Yeah, you have to feel like you have the tools and the communication. You've built the communication platform you need in order to overcome this, even if in the heat of the moment it seems very intense and the world is ending.
Can't get what you want.
Yeah.
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 Can't agree on, I don't know, the table.
I don't know whether we ever fought so heavily over a table.
Over furniture pieces.
I think it was mostly over,
you don't listen to me.
Yeah.
You're
Not having emotional needs met of some kind, or pragmatic.
Yeah. I'm more the one who brings up pragmatic problems.
Yeah.
You're the emotion.
Yeah.
So what made you stop running away? What made you stop breaking up was the investment. Was like the feeling understood.
It was the love we had. The love we built, the understanding. Like I can describe it.
So it's like a sum of everything.
Yeah, definitely. And our journey, I think when you have a track record that you can look back on and say, been through hell and back. Like, I don't know how many times you and I have been through hell and back over our issues.
But you stopped breaking up even before it was in year 2 that you stopped breaking up, or
But that's not insignificant.
Yeah.
To see you can be with someone and
for 2 years.
For 2 years and like get along. And it's not just being scrutinized and being told you're doing everything wrong at every given moment. And
was that what it was in the previous relationship?
It was in the previous relationship, amongst other things. Yeah. So when you have something that feels like, there are problems, but it's also fun, and you can talk about the issues, right? That you build a common language where you can say, okay, this is my trigger, I know yours, you know mine, can we negotiate? Then you have hope that this can work out. And again, it seems really silly to throw that all away and start from scratch, which is why some of our clients are, that might be at the brink of a divorce, are saying, no, I would rather invest more, try fix this, and have my spouse, my kids. Sometimes, a lot of money is tied up as well, starting over.
Yeah, and I think the emotional investment.
Yeah, exactly.
All the mornings when you wake up next to each other, and all the jokes.
Yeah.
All the things you've been through together.
Exactly.
Around the time when you stopped breaking up was also when I was actively working on myself to be a bit less anxious, to be a bit more distant, I guess. I didn't want to be taken for granted anymore. So I was making a lot of conscious efforts to be more independent,
Right.
to instead of like waiting for you to plan our lives together, or to be able to plan my life with you. I started just planning my own life for myself, regardless of you so much, which I think, like, considering what you mentioned about the upper hand, that it's only when you feel like the other person's so invested that you can come and go as you please, basically. I think that was maybe something I realized and I was actively working on to address. Do you think that contributed in making you more secure?
I don't know about more secure. It definitely contributed in making me understand the value of what we had and not taking you for granted, definitely. But security, I would say less so. I think it was just like, it made the seriousness more clear.
Would you say that avoidants in general have too much security?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's what...
Way too much. I mean, security...
false sense of security.
Yeah, exactly. False, that's very important to underline. They're, because they are not secure in their attachment style, which is why I were doing all these behaviors and these power games and abandonment. That's not coming from a place of security. That's deep insecurity. And as you... Yeah, and the security is the sense, or the false sense of security, that they can come and go as they please without realizing that the anxious person will hit their limit at some point. I wanted to add, though, you started having more boundaries and not letting the coming and going happen as I pleased. That was part of it, but it was also your effort to be less anxious to come my way in the ways that I needed, right? Because I had complaints. It wasn't like everything was on me. And you were making an effort to understand me more, to listen more.
I figured out what you wanted.
Yeah. You understood what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, that initial barrier was huge.
Yeah.
Just to convey what I wanted, to feel understood. So I think those things also very much contributed to my sense of commitment and security in the relationship.
So you needed someone to understand you.
Yeah.
And that's what allowed you to be less avoidant and more secure.
Yeah.
Less afraid of love, less afraid of commitment.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So we went from the breakups to being together, but we still were pretty distant. Like, we lived in two different places. I had my job, you had your job, and sometimes we wouldn't talk. Like, this is where I'm saying I was making active efforts to kind of match you and see, okay, if I don't make an effort, how long until I hear from him? How long until I hear from my boyfriend? And sometimes it would take you a week to text me. I'd be like... But I was busy. I could keep myself busy. But yeah, so we were together, but we were very separate. And then from that, we went on our first road trip. The one where you introduced me to your grandparents. I felt like that was a bonding experience that brought us closer. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I just freshly gotten my license.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's go on a road trip across Europe.
Yeah. And the first thing that happened was the car broke down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like 2 hours in or something.
Yeah.
I had to get it repaired.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was, I think, a lot of trust building, you know, when you go on an adventure together, do something that's maybe also not quite so cookie cutter, right? Like an all-inclusive might be, where we had to do planning together and figure things out and make decisions and discuss,
pitch a tent.
Yeah.
So doing things together.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like
some common undertaking.
Yeah.
Fun
where
or
you can
pragmatic.
prove yourself as a team.
Yeah. It puts, I think, many couples on the brink. It really puts the relationship to the test.
So we had our fight. Remember the fight about it was about packing.
Yeah, I like everything in boxes and neat, and you just like stuff in the trunk.
I
need to pack. Yeah.
Let's just put it in.
Yeah.
We just put it in, and
in the end, it worked.
Yeah. I remember I was expecting you to do the typical avoidant, like I need my space, because we just spent so much time together
It's
that
like
normally
2 weeks
we
or
would,
something.
yeah, something like that. Normally we would be more separate, I guess. That was still year 2, by the way. And I was surprised because I was like expecting the avoidant deactivation. And instead you said, oh, maybe you want to stay another day. Like, you were so
attached.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, how did that come to
me? We spent all this time together. And this is why I often ask my clients in a call, if they say they've been in a 7-year relationship, especially if it's like long distance, how much of that time did you spend together in person? Because it matters a lot. That's where the bonding really happens the most. If you're just distant the whole time, it's a lot more difficult. Or it most certainly is a different kind of connection. Not to devalue long distance relationships, but when you meet in person and spend time together in person, it is a totally different ballgame. In a way, you are starting from scratch. And that often hits people. And they're like, oh, we're kind of not quite what I thought we were, or this person's different. So all this time together, intense time together, I became more attached, right? And when that suddenly is going to stop and we're going to go back to our day-to-day lives, it feels like, no, you stay. Like, I've gotten used to this.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice surprise. But then I started a bit moving into your place, and I brought in the pillows, and then you were like,
no, it's too much.
Yeah. And we didn't move in together for another year.
Yeah, I think so, about a year.
I guess another element I saw in your journey was this backpedaling. This is a bit of what I'm describing with the road trip, that you were like, oh, stay. And then you were like, oh, no, don't encroach on my territory. And you needed me to not get bothered by it, or you needed me to
be okay with it.
Be okay with that. And that's what allowed you to lower your guard down. Yeah. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, that you had to prove that you had your anxiety
in check.
Like that it wasn't up to me to always soothe you and reassure you. Like,
would you say that that was part of the journey from avoidant to secure?
Yes, definitely.
And it allowed you, because now you do soothe on my anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah,
because it's different. It's not like, I find with anxious people, it can often be a kind of expectation. Like, this is your job. You must now soothe me. And because I'm anxious, sometimes the avoidant person will try and fail and fail and fail, because the anxiety is a deeper underlying issue, right? And they can feel like, why, I'm just flooded with this anxiety that I can do nothing about. Why should it be my job, right?
I am being exposed to your mental health problems and blamed for them, because
and without,
that's what anxiety
restraint,
is, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So you being able to own it and say, okay, like, I understand.
Take my pillows and take them back to my place.
Yeah, it was very trust building. Yeah. To see that you could respect my boundaries. Not always, not perfectly, but, enough to see, okay, she's trying. And I think that was also a very new experience for me, to have someone respect the boundaries and understand, which in turn shed a light on the fact that for me, most of my life, people had not respected my boundaries, right? So then you become aware of boundaries, and I'm like, oh, okay, not only can I set them, but this person understands and respects, and that makes me even more attached and feel more relaxed and secure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of logical. What you mentioned is that all your life people weren't respecting your boundaries. Mental health in general, I think, became something we also grew awareness of together.
Yeah.
It became a topic at some point and became an issue for both of us in different areas. How would you attribute that in regards to going from avoidant to secure? Like, what role did mental health play in it?
I think mental health is a huge component. Like, it's hard to pinpoint one thing in particular. I had a lot of issues. You had a lot of issues. We have our emotional baggage. But building that common language where we can, whatever words you use, whatever frameworks, is less relevant than having a common language where you can communicate your issues, the issues you see in the other, and help each other work through whatever those might be, I think was a huge component in just becoming increasingly secure and continues to,
Because you would tell me about your past and I'd be like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And vice versa. Right. And having that, being able to confide in someone and feel like it's safe and you can trust them, and even just the acknowledgement of that is hugely healing. And when I speak to clients, it often is that way, that you start discussing the fights you have over the table you're going to pick for the living room,
Pancakes.
or how you make pancakes. But it really boils down to, if the conversation is had, something a lot more fundamental around either or both partners' mental health issues. And people tend to think, if I find the perfect person, right, it just all magically clicks and falls into place. It's a very cute but naive view of how relationships and love work. It's more, if I find the right person, some things will click into place and I'll be able to work through.
We'll bring up all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, relationships are a mirror, right? That's one thing. But I'll be able to work through these conflicts, these issues with this person. And I think that's what was so powerful for me with us, that we only got better at it. We only got better at resolving issues, at saying, oh, I guess I have this other mental health issue.
Or like at getting through to each other.
What do you mean getting through to each other?
I remember our early fights. And one of the first things that helped me get less defensive was understanding that we both feel the same way.
Right.
And that the things you're upset about with me, I'm upset about with you. And that if we can even arrive at this understanding together,
we're both upset about the same things.
We're both upset about the same things. Like, we're both upset about, like, you were putting me in a box, I was putting you in a box.
Yeah.
You were having unspoken expectations, I was having unspoken expectations.
Right.
Instead of asking for what we wanted, you felt like I didn't listen to you, I felt like you didn't listen to me. So just like having that aha moment, like, oh, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Complaining about the same things.
yeah. That was like a big breakthrough, I think.
So being able to get through to each other.
Yeah.
Just about that, for example.
Just about that. Yeah.
We're upset about the same things with the other person.
Yeah. We're the same.
It was a bit comical. I remember because we kept rediscovering it too.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
We
you're
still
also
do.
upset about that. And which is why I find couples often fight that way, right? One person accuses of the other of something. You're so inconsiderate, this, that, and the other one's like, I'm inconsiderate. Have you seen yourself?
Yeah.
And then they'll go on a tangent. This isn't the way to resolve it, of course. It just escalates. But to illustrate that both sides can often feel the same way, have the same judgment and resentment to their partner.
And the same emotional needs that aren't being met.
Yeah. But yeah, those things definitely also contributed to me feeling more secure, more safe, more trust in myself and in you and us.
Do you feel more certain
nowadays? Yes. I think it's incomparable. I think it's the doubt I mentioned earlier that avoidants have that floods in. That was my Achilles heel for the longest time. And now it's something I tend to reverse the doubt on, where I'm like, oh, I'm having that doubt again. Hello, doubt, my old friend. And I don't trust it because I understand where it's coming from more than I ever have.
So it became, instead of being like a valid thought, you identified it as not helpful.
Yeah.
Same for me and anxiety.
Yeah. So us working through our issues collectively, individually,
and together.
Just really also solidified that sense of security for me.
What about realizing things about your past?
I think that's ongoing. I feel like it's just a lifelong project, quite frankly, and played and continues to play a huge role because the way we perceive the people or our partners is all informed about how we perceive and interpret our past. So whatever narrative I had about my past, I was just bringing into our present day relationship. So as the only way in which I could perceive you differently was by changing the narrative about my past, by looking at it and saying, that one time when XYZ was done to me was actually not justified. Who would have thunk? And then by extension,
it wasn't love.
It wasn't love, yeah. It wasn't care. It wasn't justified. And when you peel through those layers slowly, you perceive yourself and by extension your partner in a very different light. And there are countless experiences that everybody has that shapes their perception of themselves and their partner. And to think, if some people can be stuck in this idea of, well, I figured everything out already, or nothing so bad happened to me. And if that's true, then you're not watching this video and you're just happily living your life.
If that's true, you wouldn't be avoidant.
Yeah, or anxious.
Or anxious, yeah.
Or anything in between.
You'd be secure and chill.
Yeah. So I think it's always good to keep an eye on that, have that sense of maybe there's something I'm not seeing, maybe there's something I don't know. And this discussion, this fight we're having right now, is an opportunity for me to learn something new about myself and about my partner. And if you allow yourself to go there together, you can actually resolve the issue and have more security as a result.
So in summary, it was about your own investment into our relationship. It was about experiencing that it worked. It was about experiencing that we can work through issues together. And all that allowed you to go from being avoidant and breaking up and being unsure of your feelings and afraid of commitment to needing commitment, to wanting to start a business together. That was not my idea.
That was my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those things and more, right? I think there's so much to it, really, including your own journey, your own discoveries, and how you changed the way you related to me. And I think an underlying theme in all of this, though, was both of our initial intention. I think if you have a foundation that is the same, where you deep down, like all the mess aside, all the emotional baggage and trauma, that you're like, actually, we want a loving relationship for ourselves, and you could be the one, right? If you have
We're
the same
interested in having
values.
Genuine connection and
Exactly.
being honest with each other.
Exactly.
And putting that above norms and expectations for us.
Yeah. That's what will help you through the marathon, because it never is a sprint. And, there are layers of trust you build. There are layers of connection you build. It's not like on or off. We, to this day, can discover new layers of connection and love for each other.
Who's more of an avoidant nowadays?
Sometimes you are. Sometimes. Depends on what.
I'm having my avoidant.
You're having your avoidant phase. Yeah, awakening.
But my avoidant is like...
Maybe I have to be more distant.
Yeah. I'm not going to be as clingy.
Yeah.
To put it in timeline, because I think it's interesting to see it like that. Like it took you 2 years, or it took us 2 years to build enough trust in our case, in your particular case, because everybody's different, right?
Yes.
I would say you were quite extreme in terms of like being afraid of commitment and trust issues, but you were also very open in other ways. So it's not black and white. I think,
I was very transparent.
You were transparent, but you were also very afraid of labels, I think. So yeah, it was like 2 years to build enough trust and understanding so that you stopped the running away thing. At the same time, we're both pretty young. We were 25, 26, something like that.
So mature.
So
experienced.
And also there was no talk of attachment styles at the time.
Yeah.
So we didn't have these tools.
I think mental health was starting to trend shortly after.
It was quite stigmatized
still. Yeah.
It was like the beginning.
Strange to think how much has changed in like a decade.
TikTok didn't exist.
Yeah. There wasn't a slew of content.
Instagram was for sharing photos with your friends.
Yeah. We're old.
Facebook was for young people.
Yeah. Damn.
And party photos.
How the turntables.
There was no politics. Yeah. Yeah, shocking. But so we didn't have a lot of help.
Yeah, we were figuring out a lot ourselves.
We didn't have so much vocabulary. And at the time, it was like peer pan syndrome, or like being high value. I was reading Matthew Hussey, and I was trying to manipulate you with that. So yeah, I think because of all of this, it took you 1.5 years to stop pulling away, right? And then another year, I would say, until we moved in together. And from then on, I would say that's where we really became more of like secure or like an item, like like we're doing together.
This,
yeah. So all in all, I would say it was like a 2.5-year journey where you changed from I don't know what I want and I want to date around to like, okay, we're together, we're doing this together.
I'd say 3 to 4.
3 to 4, yeah.
That's when for me it was like clearer.
Yeah. So you see how like the perception. It's funny because I feel like I just arrived at the same conclusions earlier in certain regards, and then I just kind of bet on what I thought was true,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what you were saying. But hey, I was right.
You were right. Yeah, you placed your bet on the right horse.
Yeah. So that was the journey.
Yeah, and everything from there, for like year 3, let's say, to 13, 14, was very. It was just a continual progression of the same thing, ebbs and flows. We had our major
Nobody's
fallouts and
perfect.
whatnot. Especially running a business together put
Yeah.
extensive pressure on us too.
Yeah.
But I think overall, like what I was saying earlier, the distance
Close.
that I felt, the closed, and even when we had a fight, it just very rarely felt like the end.
And if we didn't speak, it'd be for 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think now it's the same still, like, or even shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm being the avoidant, so.
Yeah, now you're being the distant one.
Sometimes, yeah. But yeah, it's like I have no capacity to be distant. But I think it's important to share your journey, because people do get so locked in these labels. And I mean, some avoidants don't change.
Yeah. Some people don't have the shared value.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what I find we're also helping a lot of our students and coaching clients to figure out, like, is the person you are investing in ultimately on the same page? So there are cases where they're not at all on the same page and they're just pretending to be, and your time is wasted. There are cases where they're not on the same page quite yet, like they still need the trust building, the time and effort, like I did. And are you willing to make that investment?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Yeah. And then there are ones where you're closer, actually, to finalizing that, okay, we're doing this together. But
they just need a little bit of a push.
Yes, exactly.
And which maybe is like the last component that we didn't talk about, the push element. Do you feel like I pushed you to become more secure?
Phrasing, I think you challenged me in a lot of ways. We challenge each other, continue to. I think that's a vital component of a healthy relationship. So there was always something for me to learn. There was always something I wasn't seeing about myself, about you, about us. And I guess you could call that an element of pushing. And going through that process of whatever the lesson was, right? That maybe I'm not listening. Maybe I'm assuming things and not giving you enough space to talk about something.
Or like you're locked in a model.
Or I'm locked in a role of some kind, yeah. To come out the other end and make changes over time, that was definitely a form of pushing, if you will. And that was huge. That was a major component. Tied in with a lot of support and love and patience, right? It's never either extreme.
I definitely pushed. And there were times when it was necessary, I think. And even in these moments, I felt like you liked that I did. Like, it was sort of like I pushed you a bit out of your comfort zone. And you might have been hesitant to begin with, but then you ended up enjoying it, like even with the road trips.
Yeah, definitely.
So these were like commitments that I imposed onto you, I guess. And in doing that, I created the possibility of winning the trust and, right, like connecting.
Yeah. I think you struck the right balance of having the patience and the pushing. Right? It's what we emphasize in our attach and avoidant program, that you need the carrot and the stick. And a lot of people tend to fall into the category of just doing the carrot.
just patience.
loving, I'm patient, I'm understanding, it's not going to work. Like you need some component of somebody saying, all right, it's enough, or we're doing this now, or
like this is not flying.
Yeah.
Like I need more.
Yeah. Which also made me trust you more and respect you more. When somebody's just endlessly giving, and like
they're not honest.
Taking it, I don't think it's honest, but you're going to be taken for granted. So I think, the conclusion of this whole journey, if there is one, as it stands now, let's say, is that I do feel very settled. I do feel very secure in our relationship, in our marriage, in what we have.
Openly attached.
I can be openly attached. And it's strange for me to think today that I couldn't at one point, but I really could not. So, it is possible, and it can be, depending on the person and their history, I think it'll be an easier or more difficult journey. But if the person you're with feels worthwhile, if you feel like this is the one and you're on the same page fundamentally, go for it. Like, don't let anything stop you.
Yeah, I like that conclusion.
And next time, we're going to be talking about you and your journey from anxious to secure.
Yeah.
I'll be putting you in the hot seat.
Nice.
And asking all the tough questions.
Was it so tough?
No.
I can make it tougher.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, but you'll make it even tougher. Okay. Nice. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. If you like this content, please do subscribe, like the video, share it with somebody if you feel like they could benefit from this, of course. And let us know in the comments what you'd like us to cover next. If you have specific questions about going from being avoidant to secure, and we'll do our best to get back to you.
Thank you for watching.
Take care.